Hey everyone, welcome back to FactsFizz, where we uncover the stories that history forgot to mention. Today, we're diving into something truly powerful: the forgotten women who shaped America, but whose names were left out of the textbooks. From scientists who sent men to space to engineers who built bridges, these women defined a nation, yet most people don't even know their names. So grab your coffee and let's bring their stories back to life. The hidden brains behind NASA. When we think of NASA, most people picture Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin. But behind that giant leap for mankind were hundreds of women, mathematicians, engineers, and programmers who made space exploration possible. One name you might have heard recently is Katherine Johnson, a brilliant African-American mathematician whose calculations literally put Apollo 11 on the moon. Her accuracy was so precise that when computers failed, astronauts trusted her math more than the machine. And then there was Dorothy Vaughan, who taught herself and her team to code in Fortran, making them the first female programmers at NASA. Without them, NASA's early missions might have never launched successfully. These women weren't just employees, they were the backbone of the space race. The women who built America's infrastructure. When we picture the great American construction boom, the skyscrapers, the railroads, the bridges, it's easy to imagine men in hard hats. But few people know about Emily Warren Roebling, the woman who actually completed the Brooklyn Bridge. After her husband, the chief engineer, fell ill, Emily took over his duties, managing construction, dealing with politicians, and even studying advanced engineering herself. For over a decade, she ran the project from behind the scenes. When the bridge finally opened in 1883, people thought her husband had recovered. But history knows the truth, it was Emily who finished it. The women who revolutionized American industry. In the early 1900s, American factories were booming, but working conditions were brutal. That's where Clara Lemlich, a Ukrainian immigrant, stepped in. At just 23, she led one of the largest women's strikes in US history, demanding better pay and safer workplaces for garment workers in New York. Her courage helped inspire the labor laws that protect millions of workers today. And she wasn't alone. Women like Rose Schneiderman and Frances Perkins, who later became the first female US cabinet member, turned tragedy into reform. Their work laid the foundation for America's labor rights, the scientists who changed medicine. Ever heard of Henrietta Lacks? Her cells, known as HeLa cells, became the first immortal human cells used in medical research. They helped develop vaccines, cancer treatments, and even contributed to the COVID-19 research decades later. But here's the shocking part. She never gave permission, and her family wasn't told for years. Her story raises questions about ethics and equality in science, but it also shows how one woman's biology changed the world forever. Then there's Rosalind Franklin, the scientist whose X-ray work revealed DNA's double helix structure. Yet the Nobel Prize went to the men who used her data. These women weren't just scientists, they were pioneers who pushed through silence. Artists and activists who redefined freedom. While others built America's science and cities, some women built its soul. Take Maya Angelou, whose poetry gave voice to generations of women seeking equality, or Billie Holiday, who used her song Strange Fruit to expose the horrors of racism. Decades before the civil rights movement gained momentum. And don't forget Ida B. Wells, a journalist who risked her life to report on racial violence in the 1890s. Without her, much of America's early civil rights history would be buried forever. Modern trailblazers. Today, women continue to shape the United States, from politics to tech to innovation. Figures like Kamala Harris, the first female vice president, or Katalin Karikó, whose research led to mRNA vaccines, are proof that the legacy continues. Yet even now, there are countless names we still don't know, women innovating in small towns, coding in quiet labs, or teaching in underfunded schools. They might never be famous, but they're the reason progress keeps moving forward. These stories remind us that history isn't just about presidents and wars. It's about people who dared to make change, even when no one was watching. So, the next time someone says, "That's just how history happened," remember, the real story is often told in whispers. Let's make sure those whispers become voices. If you learned something new today, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video to give these forgotten women the recognition they deserve. This is Julia from FactsFizz, and I'll see you in the next deep dive.